Good morning. Welcome to the Place in the Sun webinar with Franklin's Removals. Um, this is a webinar, Moving to Europe Made Easy, expert advice from Franklin's, a family, trusted family-run removals company. I'm here with Beverly Harrison. Good morning, Beverly.
Good morning.
Planning a move to Europe can be overwhelming. Back in the day, you could just throw your stuff in a van and drive over. You can't do that anymore. We've got a relaxed and informative webinar with Beverly guiding you through the most sort of everything you need to know about a stress-free and simple move. Um, this is going to include planning, packing, transport, post-Brexit customs requirements. We explain the whole process, whether you're relocating for work, retiring, or simply a fresh start. This expert advice will aim to help you avoid common mistakes and make confident decisions. It's a trusted family run company. And Beverly, you're going to tell us about the company now, please.
No problem. Yeah, we are a European removals company. We do have a full UK team, so we can collect anywhere in the UK. We offer a full packing service if that's something that you require. We can do part packing if you decide that you want to do some of it yourself, and then later on we can help out. Sort of come to the final time. We pride ourselves in the fact that we're a small family run business, so we're always at the end of the phone to offer advice. You can call at any time just to see how things are going. So the initial stage would be to give us a call or drop us an email, and we need to work out first of all where you're going in Europe, because we cover the whole of Europe. And the first thing that we need to work out is your volume of goods. So we have several vehicles that go into Europe each week, and the capacity for the biggest vehicle is 60 cubic meters. We also have a road train that makes that 100 cubic meters. So what we need to work out to start with is if you need the whole vehicle, which is absolutely fine, or if you need a proportion of the vehicle. So that's the
Sure.
first thing we need to work out. So we do that in several ways.
So this is the sort of the first stage is planning your move to Europe,
Absolutely.
basically.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And just to clarify before we go into some more detail, your key countries are Spain, France.
France, we do all of Europe, yeah, the Netherlands, Germany, Belgium. Yeah, we do. We can do it anywhere in Europe, to be fair.
Perfect. So, you've talked about volume, which we're going to come on to, but the types, could we just talk about the types of moves that you offer?
So, as in a personal, private sort of household moves, if you're relocating to another country, we do
Yes.
do. Yeah, so that's like a private, personal move. Or we can do, office moves, commercial moves. Yeah, that anything really.
Great. And you do full loads and part loads, I think.
Yeah, so basically the volume I was discussing before, that's so we can work out if you need the whole vehicle, a proportion of the vehicle, and you only pay for the proportion of the vehicle that you would utilise. So what we don't want to do is you to just give us a figure of the cubic metres and we'll quote on that. We'll save that space for you and then get to you and find that you've got too much space and you're paying for something you don't need, or you need more than we've quoted for. So that's quite an important start.
Brilliant. So yes, so how does that it revolves around volume, as you say. How does the quotation process work?
Yeah, so first of all, you contact us and we would send you what we call our volume calculator, which you can complete. And then our operations team would work out what that sort of furniture, those items fit into a volume. Because it's all about sort of stacking the items. It's not a case of working it out yourself and saying, oh, that's 3 cubic meters, because it might not stack in that particular way in the vehicle and be safe to be transported like that. So our operations team are experts at working out how we would get those items into a space safely and securely. So contact us. We can send you the volume calculator. We do a lot of WhatsApp quotations, so customers can literally photograph. They can photograph the whole house. They stand in the doorway, take a photo of your rooms, and we can work it out from there. Obviously, at that point, we advise to include outside goods as well. Often that they're missed off, the garden furniture, things like that get missed off. And then then the operations team can work out the volume of the goods from that. If you're local to us, we'll pop out. We can do a survey, or videos. They sometimes work as well.
I was going to say, it's great to know that you don't have to necessarily be there in person, and I've also heard of videos sort of going around as well. So,
Yeah, they work really well because you can sort of open cupboards on a video, whereas with a
mm,
photograph you can't. So videos do work really well.
brilliant. So then you give a quote on that basis, but you also have to consider packing options as well as part of the budget, don't you?
Absolutely. We offer a full packing service. We've got some really good team members that have been on training courses, and they can pack. Often customers will ask for a whole household pack, which is absolutely fine. Literally, our guys will walk through the door, pack everything up, load it all up, take it all away. All we advise customers to do at that point is remove their personal items. Alternatively, you can have like a packing of breakables only. So sometimes that's the kitchen. Some people want to have the kitchen. Some customers want to have the kitchen packed up. Obviously, because it's a hard thing to do. It's time consuming as well. But we're quite happy to offer advice on the telephone. If customers want to ring up, I can advise them. Some of the things like pictures, glass. We can export wrap, which is a process obviously that's charged for. But I will advise customers if they want to do it themselves how they can do that. I can do that on telephone. And another little tip I do say to customers: if you're transporting soft furnishings, blankets, towels, use them for your packing. You're going to take them anyway, so pack things in them, wrap things, in a throw or a blanket, or put pillows between things. We can. There's loads of tips like that we can advise.
That's a great tip. And I also think people have to think whether they actually want to take stuff anyway.
Absolutely.
They should, you can buy things in France and Spain, and you've got to weigh up whether you're going to take them or keep them, haven't you?
Absolutely, yeah, and that's the flexibility of us. They can change the volume, sort of later on as things go. Sometimes customers decide, oh, I'm going to take this or I'm not, and then we can sort of finalise things at the last minute.
Brilliant. You mentioned last minute. What are the time scales on this sort of planning a move?
Yeah, so we would ask for 4 to 6 weeks from the first initial conversation, just because there's a lot of planning involved for the customer and for us. We can do things last minute. We are very flexible, and we run vehicles every week in and out of Europe. So we can sort of rush things through. We will do what we can to sort of help customers if it's a last minute decision. That has been done. That has been done. Yeah.
Okay, great. Lots of good advice on that. Moving on to customs and paperwork, which is a bigger issue, sadly, post-Brexit, but it makes using experts like you even more crucial because you can't just rock up without any paperwork. Is that right, Beverly? Can you just tell us what the requirements are?
Absolutely, yeah. So for customers that are relocating to a country in Europe, what we now have to provide since Brexit, we have to provide proof that they are leaving the UK. So, and that they've been living in the UK, so they've been living outside of Europe, basically. So, what I normally ask for is council tax documents or P60s to cover a consecutive year up until the date that they leave. So, at the moment, we're looking at 24, 25, 25, 26 council tax documents as an example to show that they've been living here. Also, they would be required disassociation of the UK. So that can be your house sale contract. Estate agents are pretty good at putting that in writing if the sale's going through, because we do require the documents 10 days before we deliver the goods in Europe. So
Okay.
sometimes that's a bit of a timescale thing.
Yeah.
So I have had customers ask estate agents and they'll supply a document to say they're in the process of selling this property, and as long as it's an official document, It's not like an email chain. It has to be like a PDF, proper document from them. So that's sort of the UK side. They also need to provide a copy of their passport, an inventory list. That is something that we supply the template for. So that's a list of all the goods that are being transported on our vehicle. So that's the UK side. And then on the Europe side, we would require proof of living. So that is a utility bill for the address that they're going to be living in, and proof of domicile, which is a proof of purchase of a new property or a rental agreement in the country of their choice in Europe. So they would need something official. Again, it can be if you're in the process of buying somewhere. Sometimes these things overlap, and they're in the process. They can get a document in the country they're going to in Europe to say that they're buying this property or they're going to be renting the property. It's to prove that they're going to be living there.
That's really interesting. So if you were moving stuff to your second home in Spain or France, then you wouldn't be able to prove some of that,
No,
would you?
no. In that instance, you would be subject to tax duty payments.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So
So if
again, another
possible, yeah,
reason to get your advice in advance. Yeah.
yeah.
So what are the I mean you handle the customs clearance. I mean what are the common mistakes or sort of things that can mean delays?
The council tax.
Right.
We normally get, it's quite common for customers to send us, at the moment, I get 24, 25 and the previous year. And it's 24, 25. We've had a 25, 26, haven't we,
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah,
So
sadly.
yeah, that's the biggest mistake I get. It's fine. It's quite, and most local councils will supply you with an up-to-date document.
Okay, Beverly. So let's look at the stages of the moving process. It starts with we've talked about the planning, but then on what about on moving day? How does it work?
Okay, so we collect in the UK sort of the end of week one, let's say. So we aim to collect your goods sort of Thursday, Friday. So our guys would, depending on whereabouts you're in the UK, we try and arrive as early as we possibly can. And depending on what services you want, if you've asked for a packing service, then we'd send a full team. Our guys would come in, pack everything up, load it into our vehicles, and bring it back to base. We're based in the West Midlands, so we're a really good location for the whole of the country. To be fair, you know, we travel all over, and then the goods would then be ready to go out to Europe on Sunday, and be delivered early the following week. Depending on whereabouts you are in Europe, it's normally the beginning of the following week, week two. So we collect week one, we aim to deliver week two. Alternatively, if you've got a bit of a gap, we do have storage here. Like I say, we're based in the West Midlands, storage is here. I'm in an office in the warehouse and storage is right next to me. So it's nice and safe and secure. So that is another option that we can provide. If you, so for instance, you've sold your UK home and you've not quite completed on your European home, then your goods can come into here and we'll store them safe and secure and then you just give us a call when you're ready for them to be delivered. So
Okay.
basically, that's how easy it is.
What about delivery procedures?
As in, sorry.
Sorry, I think I can hear noise in the background again.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Can we can we try and stop people coming in? Is that all right?
Yeah, no problem. Sorry.
Um, right. Okay. Let's go back to transport from Europe. Okay. Okay, so great. So we've collected from the UK. And what about the transport to Europe part of it?
Yeah, so the vehicles leave here on a Sunday, like I say. Hopefully cross over, get into Europe on a Monday. So it would depend on whereabouts you are in Europe. We do deliver sometimes on the Monday. So the guys would turn up, unload everything. Yeah, if you're depends on geographically depends on where you are. It can be sort of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, depends on which country in Europe you are.
Brilliant. And then you deliver. Is there anything people have to be aware of at the property they're moving to? Do they have to be there?
Well, as long as somebody's there,
Hmm.
we'd like to have, sometimes customers can't be them themselves and they have a dedicated person to open up for the guys. That's absolutely fine. We can do that. We do need to check access to the vehicle. So we would
Sure.
need to do that. We'd have done that all prior though, to make sure our vehicle can access, to the property. Some of these
Mhm.
places are quite remote,
Yeah.
country lanes and things. So we do have to look at all that. That's something we would ask you to provide. But the operations team all look into that. They can look at that on Google Maps and make sure the vehicle can access. Yeah, so basically the vehicle turns up and our guys will do everything, offload everything into the rooms that you ask them to.
I guess I guess is unpacking a service an extra thing as well, or do you sometimes
It
just
is an
leave it?
additional,
Yeah.
yeah, it is an additional. Most customers like things to be put into the correct rooms and then they prefer to do it themselves, to be honest. So then they can have things where they want them. But it is a service we can provide, obviously, yeah.
Brilliant. And sometimes coordinating a move is complicated, as you've already alluded to. And you can put furniture in storage, can't you, if the house is not ready or they don't need it yet.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. We've got storage here, or we can deliver to storage units. I mean, we collect a lot and deliver to storage units in the UK and in Europe. If that's something the customer wants.
Brilliant. And insurance. Now, you mentioned about packing delicate items, but I mean, how does that work? If you pack them, I mean, I imagine the company has adequate insurance.
Yeah, yeah, that's something that we've got in place. Yeah, we've got our we outsource for what we call Move Protect. So that's something that we offer as well.
Brilliant. And that's another reason to use a reputable company, isn't it? Because,
Absolutely.
yeah. And is this a weekly scheduled services? Do you save money if you kind of go on a certain schedule, or how does that work?
And we're out in Europe every week, so it is a
Right.
weekly thing. Yeah, every single week. So yeah, so it's like I say, collections week one, deliveries week two, and then obviously we collect in Europe and we bring back to the UK as well. So it goes round and round every week. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, look, there's lots of great info there, but we're going to cover off some sort of typically asked questions that you get from people thinking about moving. Um, so, first, Beverly, which countries do you move to most often?
France is probably our most common. Although the Netherlands, we do a lot of work related moves, customers relocating for work purposes. Yeah, but I'd say France is our biggest one
Sure,
at the moment.
but as you said before, Spain is also quite
And Spain,
possible.
Spain's
Yeah,
really common. Yeah, yeah, Spain's really up and coming.
brilliant. Now you have referenced this, but let's just reiterate it. How far in advance should I book?
We would like 4 to 6 weeks.
Mm.
That would be an ideal situation. I mean, we've got bookings now for later in the summer already, so it's never too soon to book. Get things in place, and some customers like to be really organised. Some don't have that opportunity, and they have to ring us last minute. With properties in the UK, sometimes they've not sold, and then it ends up being a last minute thing. But yeah, we're very flexible. Like I say, vehicles every week going into Europe, so we'll try and do our best and help.
Is there a peak time of year to move, or is it just so up and down now?
It used to be the summer months, but it seems to be all year round now. Yeah, I would have said sort of April to September is our busiest time, but we haven't really had a quiet time in the last couple of years.
No.
Like I say, with I think with customers relocating for work purposes as well as just a house move. Yeah, we're busy all year round, but April to September is the busiest period.
Sure, and also you handle people's move back to the UK, I presume, as well.
We
So
do,
yeah,
yes, we do.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, do you handle all the customs paperwork? I mean, is there anything that the customer has to do?
As long as they can provide the documents that we discussed earlier, then we do all the clearance for them. Yes,
Brilliant,
they don't have to do anything for the
brilliant.
goods.
Okay. Um, Now, what is a part load? Well, you've explained what it is, but I mean, can a part load be very small? I mean, how does it work?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we part loads go from 1 cubic meter right up to sort of 50.
Oh wow.
A full load would be 60 cubic meters, which is the 18-ton lorry that we use. So small as 1 cubic meter. Yeah, we've had a few suitcases, a few boxes, personal items, right up to a full load. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you're more affordable than Ryanair's luggage costs.
Yeah, probably.
Um, and can you pack for me? Well, you've explained that you can, can't you?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's a good tip as well. If it doesn't fit through the door, then it needs dismantling. So if you've got an item, I mean, often beds are like divans, but if you've got sort of wooden frame beds, then they'll need dismantling. Sometimes things need to come into pieces. That's
Mhm.
something and a service that we offer as well. If that's something you can't do yourself. So
Sure.
basically, if it doesn't fit through the door, then it needs to come apart.
You must get some unusual requests now and again,
Uh,
for unusual objects or and actually you don't move pets. That's a whole specialized separate thing, isn't it?
is yeah,
Yeah.
no, it is you have to contact the experts in pets. No, we don't want to
Um,
do.
so how long does a European move take? You've sort of touched on this.
Yeah, so like I said, week one we aim to collect the end of week one, Thursday, Friday, and your delivery will be the early part of week two.
Mhm.
That's what we hope. That's what we plan for. Obviously sometimes we do get the odd delay. Customs will get stuck for a few hours or traffic, but we do aim to deliver the first part of week two.
Brilliant. You've already mentioned about the fact that there's full insurance for a customer's goods. What if your dates change of your move?
Well, we are very flexible. We'll try and do our best, like I say, because we're out there every week. Obviously, we'll try and accommodate. If suddenly they have to cancel just for some personal reason, whatever reason, property hasn't gone through, then obviously because we've got vehicles going every week, we would like to say we're very flexible with that.
Mhm. Brilliant. Well, I think you've covered a lot of the common questions. I mean, how do I get a quote if I'm, interested in planning a move and with your help?
Yeah, several ways. You can give me a call. I'm always at the end of the phone, 0121 or we have a WhatsApp number, which is 0753 852 0193, or our email is sales@franklinsremovals.co.uk.
Brilliant. And basically, you've given people lots of tips there, but just to sort of close off, do you want to sort of summarize what the most important message you want to get across to clients about making this as painless as possible?
Absolutely. I think organisation, when it comes to if you're doing your own packing, what I sometimes say to customers is they'll ask if they need to label, number, and I say for us you don't have to do that, but please do it for yourself, because when you get to the other side and you've spent months packing up, you'll forget what's in box number 10, believe me. So I think organisation, the document side that we ask for those 10 days before we deliver. But I would, if you're leaving your UK home, you're going to be leaving your computer and everything else all going to go in a box. Get everything organised, packed document wise, way before you move. We can open a file for you and save those. So I would say the key to moving is the organisation side.
Brilliant. Well, look, thank you so much. That's Beverly Harrison of Franklin's Removals. We hope that this has provided some useful information and the further details are accompanied with this webinar. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Liz.